Hello, welcome back to the Craft Scraps. I am Lauren, and today is round 2 of Infusible ink. If you saw my first video with Infusible ink, I'll link it up there. It did not go, it went okay. I won't even get into it, but it was okay. I learned a lot. So I'm gonna do round 2, and I've already filmed the craft, and I have to say, it turned out so good. I made these coasters. They are so freaking stunning. So much better than my first craft, and I freaking loved using these coasters. They were just like perfect. So these I made for a wedding gift or an engagement gift for one of our friends that they just got engaged. So super excited how those came out. Cannot wait to give them to them. I will say, since filming the craft, I finally ordered a easy press Cricut heat pad thing. I've just added it to my Amazon store after people telling me over and over and over and over again it would make my life easier. I finally caved and I bought it. It was on sale on Amazon for like $20, and then I found out it was on sale at Joann's for even cheaper, but that's fine. So I used this Cricut Infusible ink, the watercolor patterns I got from Michael's. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. They look lighter in the packaging, and then when they get pressed they just turn out so beautiful. So much happier how these turned out. I can't wait to show you guys. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Follow me on Instagram, and with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so these are the coasters I'm going to be making for my friends who just got engaged. So I'll show you guys how I got to this point. So the only one I used a SVG for, or like an image from Cricut, was this love one. So I just found this by coming over here to images and searching love in the search bar, and somewhere down here is a California one, and I won't put you through the torture of me trying to find it, but you could see up here like there's a couple of different states that have like love into it. So I found a California one, so I thought that would be cute. The others I just used just different fonts and just made little stencils out of them. So I tried to like make these two look kind of similar with a similar font, and then these look kind of similar just so they relatively look like a set. But that's not exactly the look I was going for, but I just thought they were kind of matching. So basically, to make these coasters, we're going to start out by making a circle. So you could see these circles are about the same size as the coaster. So I measured them to fit exactly the coaster. So you could see they're about 3.5 by 3.5, which is the size of the coaster. So if you want to like be sure that you don't have a little white line around yours, you could totally make it bigger, but these I just made to be the exact same size as the coaster themselves. So I'm just going to come over here to shapes and make a circle. So I'm going to click this little unlock thingy over here so I could size it, and I'm just going to move it up here to measure and basically just pull it out to about 3.5 by 3.5. So now I want to change the color, so I'll make this one here. So I'm going to click on my circle and I'm going to make it this purple color. So the reason that I want my machine to know that these two are going to be purple and these two are going to be more of an indigo is because I'm using two different colors of infusible ink paper. So this purple is going on like the purple watercolor paper, and this one is going on the like bluish watercolor paper. So that's the reason why we want to make sure that we change our color. So all you need to do is when you make your next circle for your other color, come up here. Actually, you could be even more efficient. You could just click on this, click duplicate to make sure it's the exact same size. Then you'll come up here to your little color palette and change the color. Super easy. So you could do this method of color changing anytime you want to cut out two different colors of vinyl or HTV or iron-on or whatever. So I get that question a lot, like how did I change the color, or how did I get my machine to cut out two different colors? That is basically the trick. Is all you do is change the color palette up here. So it basically tells your machine, hey, this is going to be cut out of a different color. All right, so we could set that one to the side. So now we're basically just going to treat this like a stencil, because how I'm making these coasters is I want the watercolor paper to be the majority of the coaster, to basically cover the coaster, and then I want the letters to be cut out so it'll show like the material of the coaster through the infusible ink paper, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but I promise it will. So I'm just going to come over here and make a text box. So the J plus K font that I used is it's called Syscopic. I did get this one from Font Bundles. So it was just one of their free fonts, and their fonts come with a license. So you can do J plus K, no pun intended. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on my shape, and you can make it as big as you want. And again, if you are making like something completely different but on the coaster, the same kind of rules follow. So if I wanted to just cut these letters out of the infusible ink paper and just have like a blank coaster with these infusible ink letters on it, all I would do would be to change the color of my letters. So like this would be what I'd be pressing onto my coaster instead of the circle. Again, it will make sense once I show you guys how I'm doing this, but anyways, so now change these back so you can see. Move this. All right, so now all I want to do is, like how I would make any other stencil, is I will select both the circle and the letters and just come over here and hit slice. And then just move my layers out of the way. Super duper easy. So now I'll show you how I did it with this. I'll do one more. I'll do this love one over here. I'm going to come over here and click images. And just to get straight to the point, I'm going to type in love California and see if the one perfect, it's right here. And so there's a million other ones you could choose from. So I'm just going to insert this to my mat. Again, click the little lock so I can resize it. Put it over my circle. I'm going to select everything and hit slice. Delete my layers. And now this is exactly what I'm going to press onto my coaster. All right. So that's basically it for the design space part. So now we can just come over here to make it. And you can see that on our blue paper, we're going to have these two, and on our purple paper, we're going to have these two. Now it's important to note that we do want to mirror these, just like regular iron-on. So I'm just going to click this little toggle to make this one mirrored and make this one mirrored. So we will be pressing these. So we're going to weed them, and then when we go to press, we'll flip the paper over so everything will be right side. So we hit continue. It's going to find my machine. So I'm doing this with the maker. I am 99% sure you could probably use infusible ink paper with the Cricut Explorer. I haven't tried it, but I would imagine it's compatible because you just need the regular blade for it. So, all right, so now we're gonna go to browse all materials, and I'm just gonna type in infusible. If you have the Explorer and you have to do it with the dial, turn your dial to, I think it says other or like custom or something, and this little window will populate for you. So you do the same thing. So infusible ink transfer sheet, done. And it's reminding us make sure mirror is on, and we're going to cut this with the material side, the inked side up. All right, so this is all ready to go, so I'll switch you guys over to the camera so you can see how we're going to do this. Okay, so like I said, I'm using the Cricut Infusible ink, so I'm using the watercolor patterns. So it comes with these 4 really pretty colors, but I'm going to just be using the blue and the purple. So the directions on the website. Alright, so these are our coasters. And I bought the Cricut compatible ones. I already took them out of the package, but these are the Cricut ones. So the directions first say to prep them, you need to wipe them with like a lint-free cloth. And then it says if you need like a deeper clean to use alcohol wipes, but for these I don't think that's necessary. And then I also don't have the easy press mat, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to just press them against this towel, because it's just like a towel I use around the house, so it's nothing. I still have no freaking idea what this is for, so if you know what this little cloth is for that comes with the infusible ink, please comment below, because I don't know and nowhere says what this is for, so that's that. Okay, so I'm going to start with this pretty blue watercolor. So we are going to put this on our mat, liner side down. Okay, and we have our settings mirrored, so that's good to go. So I'm just going to move my Cricut a little bit closer. We have our settings good, everything's good, good, good. So we can load our mat. And we're going to cut our blue coasters. Okay, so this one is done. So I can take the blue off my mat. Okay, and then, well, I guess these are kind of the same color, but this one's like a little more purple. So now I'm gonna do the purple. All right. So this one can start cutting. So we can start cutting that, and then while that's cutting, I will weed these ones here. So I'm just gonna trim so I can use the rest of this ink later for something else. And I'll trim these individually. And so here what I want to be left with is I want to be left with the circle with the negative space cut out of it. So I learned from the first time you have to kind of like crack the paper, which is weird. And I'm so used to like vinyl where you like snag a piece up, but this is different. It's like a paper that you have to pull, separate off of this liner. So now I'm gonna go in and do the letters, and I think last time I realized using like tweezers was way easier. Oh, make sure you guys can see this. I'm using my new camera setup, so I still haven't like found my marks. And the battery might die too, you guys, so I might have to pick this up when the battery is charged. Suspected the camera battery died, so I got through these 3 and then I saved this one, so I'll show you how I weeded it because I don't know, I think the camera like cut off in the middle of one of these. So I'm gonna roll it, or you know, do that little cracking thing, peel up a corner. Oops, sorry, make sure you can see it. And then I really think tweezers works best for this instead of instead of the weeding tool. I just feel like it's a little bit easier to like pick it up and like drag it. So we're just weeding it like we would normally. For something big like this, I can kind of just use my fingers. It's almost easier. Okay, so we have our cute coasters. So these are going to get pressed onto the coasters. Now, according to the directions on Cricut, you use your press, you put it on you put the press on and then you leave it. And it says at 400 degrees for like 240 seconds. Like I had to count like how, that's what, like 4 minutes per coaster. So I'll like try and go through this pretty quick, but so I'm going to move the silicone mat. And so in lieu of the heat press mat, I'm just going to be using this towel, and then I don't care about this towel, so I don't care if ink transfers to it, but if you're using your pad or something you care about, the directions online say to put a piece of cardstock down, and then that's where you'll put the coaster on. Okay, so what the directions say is we're going to take our Infusible ink sheet and we're going to put it face down on the coaster. So since my design is basically lining my coaster, I want to make sure that it gets as lined up as possible. And then it says to flip over the coaster. Okay, I don't know how to do that like gracefully, so it's going to be like that, and then we're going to put the butcher paper. Oh, and so since that package came with 4 colors, it has 4 different sheets of butcher paper, so that's nice. I love that it comes with butcher paper. Alright, so our heat press is ready for 400 degrees at for 240 seconds, and I looked online and that's what it says. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have our heat press just sit on top of the coaster for the 240 seconds with no added pressure according to the website. So I'm basically just going to set this here and leave it alone. What was I going to say? Oh, obviously, if you have a smaller heat press, definitely recommend, but I only have this monster and the mini over here, so I'm going to be using this because I think it'll give the most even pressure. So, with that being said, I'm going to pick up my heat press and place it on top, and I'm going to leave it alone, so we'll come back once it has done its thing for the 240 seconds. Okay, so my timer's gone off, so I'm going to move this and wait for the coaster to completely cool before I do anything with it. I realize I actually have another one of these towels, so I'm just gonna scooch that over. And I'm gonna do another one. So again, I'm gonna put this as lined up on here as possible. Flip the coaster. Again, I don't really know how to like gracefully do that. I'm gonna use this butcher paper. And I know it says not to, but I don't feel like I'm going to use all 4 of those for one thing. So I'm just going to use like a piece that I didn't use on that one. And then I'll use a brand new one for this, for the next couple. Alright, so again, I'm going to take my heat press and place it on there. I did not center it. There we go. 240 seconds and go. Okay, so the second one is done. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. Ugh. Alright, so it's kind of cool. It still is pretty warm, but it's I can handle it. Alright, so it's relatively manageable, so I'm going to remove the liner now. Oh my god. Look how freaking stunning that is. Obviously it's a little off here, but I don't really care. That is freaking stunning. That is gorgeous. I am obsessed with that. Okay, so now we're done with that. So now we're gonna do this one. And again, I'm gonna try my best to line these up, but I mean, it's like a perfect circle going on a perfect circle. There's no possible way I'm gonna get it perfect every time, but I can try. Alright, let's see what this one looks like. So pretty. The camera needs to focus. That is freaking stunning. The camera's not focusing, but oh my god, Maybe because I can't, it's still kind of warm, so I'm not really helping it, but oh my gosh. All right, this came right off. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with doing these coasters. Look how beautiful. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with these. All right, guys, so there you have it. We have our final coasters. They turned out so much better than I anticipated. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. I hope you guys like this. I hope I redeemed myself from the infusible ink debacle of 2020. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, happy crafting!